Okay, so in today's special knowledge bomb, I kind of want to do something that I've been doing on my Instagram lives, which has been getting a lot of really good feedback. And I decided to put a longer form of this into today's knowledge bomb. For those of you who are aware, I have been, for the better part of a year now, channeling some really potent information around health and wellness. And it turns out that a lot of this stuff that I've been channeling tends to be sort of out of the realm of the way that I think, but coming out in the language of the way that I talk, if that makes sense. So I know a lot of this is not just me writing thoughts on paper. A lot of this is coming from a different source. What is the source? I don't know. Maybe higher self, universal consciousness, aliens. I don't ask questions. All I care is that I can get you all some information that could make changes into your lives by simplifying it. And that's the biggest thing for me is how can I simplify health for all of you? Been doing it for years in the Knowledge Bomb. And my hope now is that I'm doing this for you in these channel texts. These channel texts can be taken however. Don't take this as gospel. Take it in the way that it resonates with you. If it resonates, listen to your body. That's your soul talking to you through your body. So if it resonates, listen, take a moment, let it reach your heart, and maybe start implementing it. If I'm talking mumbo jumbo and you don't care, that's okay too, right? There's no truth. There's no one universal truth. There's truths, many ways, many paths. I just hope that I can illuminate a path that would help a lot of you. So in this text, what I wanted to do is highlight one of my favorite ones that I wrote out. And I wrote this one last year around November, December. And I was living in a really small little cabin in the woods. And I was there for 2 months or so. And that's when the channeling really kicked off. It got really intense out there. So this one is about really just healing. And when we think about healing, a lot of us fall into this process where we want to just be healing and in a healing state and just healing all our lives. And then we die and we just never were healed. And it's a big trap for us. And I wanted to really, really go deeper into the steps to healing. And again, if this resonates with you, write it down. If it resonates with you, start putting it into practice, because a lot of the words on paper are going to be simplified and hopefully powerful. So as I sit in the front yard of this cabin in a fall in California, I asked the question fundamentally, what does everyone need to understand first when healing? And as I asked this question, this energy flowed through me and I just started writing. And this is one of my very first ever channel text. Healing is the blueprint. This means that within all of us, there is a specialized blueprint that informs the cells on how to behave. So it begins with access to our own inherent blueprint. We must access the blueprint through others. This means that our own inherent healing blueprint is mirrored by others. The blueprint of life and its laws are governed by the inner self. The inner self is always working to keep you alive. When the blueprint is inaccessible, then disease begins to follow. We always knew this. The blueprint is our life instructions. And to see this within yourself, you must see this in another. Life's blueprint is always here, and you can access it. It means letting nature flow through you, and you allow the blueprint to begin to rise. When this blueprint arises to the surface, you will be available to heal yourself and others. The blueprint is within us all. It's accessible within us all. And the blueprint is actually how you allow yourself to heal others. So the first step is the awareness that we all have a blueprint, and the blueprint is encoded in all of our cells. Okay. And when you understand that this blueprint is encoded in all of our cells, and you bring awareness that you have the ability to heal any disease that exists. This blueprint, when activated in the body, informs the cells on how to behave. The cells behave accordingly, and healing begins. When we are in that state, we are also creating the state to heal others. We must connect to the inner self. The inner self is the governing body of you, of who you are. The inner self has the capacity to change the world. But why do we feel so disconnected? It's because we lack this wisdom. When we heal ourselves and our inner stable nature comes to the surface, we allow ourselves to access the depths of life that we seek so much. This means that the inner self is accessible through quiet and nature. Nature actually has the ability to mimic us, and it will remind us that we are never disconnected. And so, to access our true inner self, we must be with self in quiet with nature. The self will arise and we will soon know why we are here. The natural world is the reason we are alive. We must remember how connected we are to it. When we forget, we feel lonely. When we remember, we feel alive. And this is why we go on trips to nature. We come back remembering. The inner self connection is integral to our natural world and to healing from any disease. No disease will thrive in a natural body. This means that the body will itself know about its own mechanism without the influence of any other person or any other medicine. It will begin to activate its own self-healing. You know, I'm always on the lookout for ways to optimize my health, and that includes being mindful of what I put into my body. And that's why I want to talk to you about omega-3s. That's why I've been loving Puori's O3 Ultra Pure Fish Oil. We all know that fish oil is a great source of omega-3s, but here's the thing. Our oceans are not as clean as they used to be. You know this already. And that's where Puori comes in. They source their omega-3s from small fish, which tend to have lower levels of contaminants. Plus, every single batch is rigorously tested for purity and freshness. I take Puori's O3 every single day because it gives me a potent dose of EPA and DHA. And those are the long-chain omega-3s that are so crucial for the heart, the brain, and the eyes. It offers a high dose of 2,000 milligrams of long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA in its natural triglyceride form. And I can truly feel the difference it makes in my health and energy levels. But here's what sets Puori apart is transparency. It's tested for over 200 contaminants, including heavy metals and pesticides. And if you're looking to support your overall health and want a supplement brand that you can trust, I can't recommend Puori O3 enough. Give it a try, see the difference for yourself. And here's some great news. Puori is offering you, the Heal Thyself listener, 20% off of the O3 Ultra Pure Fish Oil and all the other products. Just head to Puori, that's PUORI.com/DRG, and use my promo code DRG at checkout. As we get back into our routines after summer, I know many of you are refocusing on your health and fitness goals. But before you jump into a new diet or exercise plan, let me talk about something that is a game changer, that is magnesium. Did you know that 75% of Americans are deficient in magnesium? That might be you, it might be your loved one. The mineral is involved in over 600 biological reactions in the body and is crucial for overall health. That is why I want to introduce you to Magnesium Breakthrough by BiOptimizers. What sets this supplement apart is that it contains all 7 forms of magnesium, and this full spectrum approach ensures your body can get a complete range of benefits, and it's designed for your maximum bioavailability, so your body can actually use all the magnesium that you're taking. Now, whether you're on a weight loss medication or not, setting healthy habits is the key to maintaining your long-term progress. Magnesium Breakthrough can actually support you naturally in multiple ways with sleep quality. It's crucial for weight management, improving stress, promotes a healthier insulin response, blood sugar. This is all vital to maintaining a healthy weight. But remember, it's not just about health or losing weight, it's just nourishing your whole body. So to try Magnesium Breakthrough, I take it every single night, 3 a day. We got a special offer for you, the Heal Thyself listener. Go to BiOptimizers.com/DRG. That is BiOptimizers.com/DRG and use the code DRG10 to get 10% off of any order. If you love the podcast and you want to be down with the Dr. G Heal Thyself community, we give incredible tips every single week on getting a healthier physical, mental, and emotional body. The newest updates of my favorite products, the newest updates of my favorite practices. Stay in the loop by joining the Dr. G community. All you got to do is go to any one of my posts on Instagram and comment the word news. You'll get a DM to join. Take, for example, the person that is living with only a disconnected, lonely self. It may allow in love from others, but will completely disregard its own capacity to be fulfilled by its own love. So we must heal and nurture the inner self and our connection to nature. I want you to think to yourself, how often are you alone? This means that if we're alone and we leave ourselves in that space every single day, we begin to become dependent on the love of another. It is the most alone we can be when we seek our love and connection with another instead of ourselves. We must connect to the inner world and with the outer. The inner world being the connection to self, and the outer world meaning the connection to nature. People want this connection, and they connect with the outer world so much. They connect with nature and they try to connect with other people, but they're missing one of the most important drivers of healing any disease, and it's the connection to inner self. When that's integrated, healing begins. When it's not integrated, anytime a disease thrives, it comes from the loss of a sense of self, a loss of a sense of connection. The body will access then its own blueprint and begin to heal itself without the inner connection. When the body's accessing its own blueprint and healing itself without the inner connection, it's not full healing. This actually means that the body has its own capacity to heal, but not fully, not without the self. It has to be with your own connection to yourself. That is the other part of the equation. The body has its own intelligence, its own blueprint, but what activates that blueprint to healing is you, is your own connection to you. Not anyone else, not any other doctor giving you something, not any other blogger, not any other diet. It is you. It is your connection to your own inner world. If you're feeling lonely, your blueprint may be keeping you alive, but if you're feeling lonely, you are still not fully healthy. It is the self that governs the body's blueprint fully. And so the blueprint of self specifically can heal you from all disease and another. We think about looking for healing in every way except ourselves. We lose our capacity to heal when the self is gone. The system will try to heal itself, but the self is what drives the healing to its full, highest inherent capacity. If the energetic value of someone is so low because their connection to self is so low, then the human will expire. We die when our connection to self is so low and our blueprint is not flowing with our own inherent vital force. Our energetic value is alive when the self is alive. And when this connection is thriving, then so will the organism thrive. And when the loss of self occurs, we begin to lose our own inherent healing energy. So I know that maybe you didn't hear things in that way, but I want to really illustrate something for you. We have become so damn dependent on everything outside of us for our healing. So dependent. I've been guilty of it so many times in my life, still sometimes. But when you understand that we have the capacity to heal any disease, how fucking empowering is that? Right? So this channel text is telling you exactly that. Healing happens in two fundamental equations. We have a genetic blueprint that exists in our body to heal, and that is always running at 50%, right? That's the half of the equation. Our own genetic blueprint is running for our own inherent healing, and our cells are responding to that blueprint. But what activates that blueprint fully, what makes that blueprint realize its full potential, is the connection to self. The epidemic of loneliness is not only an exterior experience. It is an internal experience. There's a lot of people who are surrounded by people who are terribly lonely. And because of that, and by virtue of that, we're missing the other 50% of the equation. And if we're missing the other 50% of the equation, you will not heal. I don't care if it's a mental disease. I don't care if it's an acute physical disease. I don't care if it's a chronic physical disease. So we are looking outside of us for healing. The other part of this channel text, the second part of it, actually goes into the expression of nature and how it's healing to us too. So when we have the connection to self and the connection to nature, and that means this, a lot of us are, and this is a reiteration of the text, a lot of us are so profoundly obsessed with the people in our lives, right? We love our partners so much, and we love our kids so much, and we love our mom and dad and our siblings so much, and our friends. That same person that's giving all that love outwardly is the same person that immediately, surprisingly, can get sick. How many times have you met that person? Oh my God, Jane, she's so loving. I can't believe she has cancer. It happens to the best of people. It's because Jane didn't have a connection to herself. Jane did not have the connection to her own inherent sense of self. That means, what does the internal experience of me look like? And remember, to connect to self, you need quiet and you need nature. The two factors that help you come back to remembering that sense of self, for you to have that felt experience. So get quiet, go in nature, go inundate nature. I mean, I go over this in my course for people. We have a whole module that goes over the science of nature and talks about what nature does to our own system. And it's funny because when I wrote out this course module, I thought to myself, intelligent design is such that when we go into nature, it creates this far beyond any medicinal effect we can think of. Now imagine you go into nature in quietude. When you actually shut off all of the noise that is distracting you from your sense of self, that quietude in nature is going to allow you to access the other part of the equation. I'm always inspired by, I don't remember this guy's name, but he had cancer and he has a big Instagram. He had cancer and he just decided, and this is me not giving any medical advice, but he decided, I'm going to just do the opposite of what I'm being told. I'm going to follow my heart. It's telling me to go into nature. This man stayed in nature. He bathed in nature. He was in nature from morning to night. He lived in nature. As soon as he had his cancer diagnosis, it was gone in 2-3 months. Please, if this resonates with you, you can change your life after this podcast. You don't have to wait. Go to nature. It's calling for you. Go to nature, go alone, be away from everyone. Get quiet, come back to yourself, activate that other half of the equation. Your genetic blueprint is waiting for it to be activated. It's trying to heal you, but it's only doing 50% of the job. The other 50% is you connecting back to you, having a relationship with you. What does you want? What are your wants, needs, and desires? What does your soul want to express? Are you in your purpose? Are you in the right relationship? Are you honoring yourself? Your soul is talking to you through that inner experience. Are you listening? Are you acting on the inspiration that your soul is giving you? Or are you just ignoring it like you have been the whole life that you've been leading? This is your opportunity to break through that. This is your opportunity to go in nature. Let nature heal you. Connect to self. That part of you coming alive, becoming awakened, starting to sponsor your life, starting to sponsor your life's decisions. That fire, you know, when you start a little fire in the woods and then you're in a circle and then you start a bigger one and a bigger one and then it's a big bonfire. Let that fire that is you come alive and let it dictate the life experience that you have. Watch how you begin to heal. Watch, because you will never be lonely again, you know. Aside from religion and anything, a lot of people, you know, deeply religious, I respect that. And they say, I'm never alone because I have God. I'm never alone because I have Jesus. I'm never alone because I'm with Allah, whatever it is. Aside from all that, can you just feel never alone because you're with you? You're with the real you. Aside from all that, can you at least go to square one before you get fancy and talk about all these other omnipotent powers that are you actually? But the part of that omnipotent power that is you having the experience, are you even connected to that? Because if you're feeling lonely and you have a bunch of friends, there's your remedy right there. So I really hope this helped you. Tune into this. If it talked to you, tune into it. If you need to rewind and listen to the words again, listen to it. I promise you, I'm going to put this in a nice, organized book, better grammar, clearer sentences. But at this point, I thank you for listening. Thank you for opening your heart, coming to heal thyself. As always, all the love, all the love, all the love. Thank you.